Robert Griffin, and I don't see these niggas. Ain't no competition. And on another level, raising hell like the devil, causing mass destruction, corruption, lyrical repercussions.
I don't know who the athlete is. You know, you got people who've been training for a long time, been doing this for a while, like Daniel Cormier, who are real specimens in the game. Even Muhammad Lawa, was King Mo.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing this thing for a bit of time.
Another Olympic caliber wrestler.
Yeah. You know, Tyrone Woodley. You know, there's definitely tons of athletes. It's just, I guess this is who you know, what you're exposed to.
Good thing. Okay, so that's a good segue. So let me tap in on that one, just to kind of piggyback on, because I know you say you didn't want to go in on Tyron too crazy, Tunde. You told me the other day, but again, let me because again, I'll speak from experience, bro. When I was competing, and just like right now, the money has never been there like that. Even on the level of the UFC over the years, we're still trying to catch up to the sport of boxing when it comes to money. So a lot of times we be out here fighting and everybody thinking, and this is kind of the fan, a little bit of their ignorance too, just assuming, even with me, when I won a regional title, I'm walking around with my belt and folks like, oh man, Vice Rich. I'm like, nah, Don. Like, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the same. Like, a lot of us had to work a job, bro. I remember when I was working for 7-Up, and I had a fight out there at Canterbury, and I won the fight, but I got cut. You know, I caught an elbow, fought a cat 6'5", you know, and I was in his guard. I think it was Travis McCullough. Tall dude, 6'5", rangy. So I already knew I had to get in, take him down, and control him, you know, strike, ground, and pound. And that's ultimately what I did. But while in his guard, he threw them razor sharp ass elbows and cut me. And so I had time to go to the hospital. You know, I'm a G about it. So, you know, threw the little patch over it. You know, still went, did my shift, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And then went home, you know, went and got stitched up a little bit later on. But see, that's the life of it. I mean, that's why it's so unique, man, with our sport. It ain't never been about the glitz and glamour, bro. We just used to want to get it in. And it just so happens that in our time, we caught it just as it was like on the rise, man. You know, we were there when Brett Rogers got his deal with Strikeforce, and he knocked out Andre Arlovsky, then he became the 6th ranked heavyweight in the world. And I remember being in the gym and watching the EA Sports people come in, and they put the what you call it, Tunde, the electronic stuff on him so they could get his body mechanics and shit for the video game.
Oh, you talking about the like those tracking balls?
Yeah, he had like the whole little outfit. And the game is still out, bro. I mean, the EA Sport, I think I played it once or twice, man, with bros on the game. And for me, just a little history about Brett Rogers, because he's the one that kind of brought me into the game. Brett the Grim Rogers, this brother used to work at Sam's Club. You know, I remember going up there, bro, was up at Sam's Club changing tires, man. So just imagine, you know, he kind of had his rise and he had his kind of decline, but just to be able to go from changing tires to now you're fighting on, actually, he fought on EFX first. Excuse me. As far as big shows. And I remember he was calling out Kimbo Slice at the time. And then to ultimately go into the Strikeforce and do his thing. And, you know, had he not had the issues on a personal level, you know, he would have ended up in the UFC. I mean, there's no doubts about that. But even before getting to the UFC, he had already fought Alistair Overeem, Josh Barnett, Andre Arlovsky, Fedor Emelianenko. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, having this person right next to me, bro, who I met at Bally's, watch him go from changing tires to Sam's Club to ultimately, you know, the height of his career, man, and in the spotlight, like that was definitely motivation for me, man. And, you know, but again, even on that level, you know, I don't know how to, you know, his deal was structured or whatnot. It wasn't enough to have him set for the rest of his life, although he should have been as a top ranked heavyweight in the world.
So are you suggesting that they're just more secure in themselves, they're more comfortable because, you know, they can handle life circumstances and participate in the sport?
So my fault. Touch a little bit more on that because I know I kind of veered off.
Because you were saying that Tyron has some issues going on.
Oh yeah, so my fault. Yeah, so like I ended up going to grad school. End up, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, working a job and other things amongst like that. But it's like what you gotta when it comes to the fight game in general, you gotta be all in. You know, you gotta eat, sleep, shit, drink this shit. You know what I'm saying? It can't be many distractions, which is why when you look at like that 24/7 that comes on Showtime, you know what I'm saying? When they show them, a lot of times they get shipped off or they'll go off somewhere away from the family, away from everything and train, because once you're dialed all the way in, by the time you get in there, man, you're solid all the way around, mind, body, spirit, and of course the physical. And a lot of times with our people and casual fans, it's like, dude, don't get caught up on this. Oh man, you got more muscles than dude, or he got more muscles. Don't mean shit. We done seen the buffest cats get knocked smooth out because of, well, one, the lack of cardio. When it comes to martial arts in general, it's better to be leaner. Even if you are a heavyweight, the less extra weight and extra, fat you got carrying around, the better, because it takes that much more energy to carry that shit around. That's why when I look at a Ngannu, although he's 265, look at how first of all, we African brothers. Number one, you can go ask your physician. I asked one before. African people in general carry around less body fat than everybody. That's just genetically. Let's go ahead and get that up out the way. But when I look at that dude, man, dude is a freak. So in general, man, the less distractions you have, the more you're able to perform optimally. And with Tyron, let's go back into that. Like Tunde, we were talking before. You said, man, the brother had a divorce. He's been acting lately. He done been in Straight Outta Compton. I was watching some other movie the other day too on I think Netflix or some brother was in that. I know that Tyron, look, he done went on the Breakfast Club and was spitting some bars too. So he done got into music. Then he owns a gym. Like, he got legitimate businesses. So here's the thing. I know I'm kind of long-winded with this. No, when you first get into this, you're hungry, right? You hungry, you raw, you just want to eat. So mentally it's different. So imagine this, you'd have made a few million now. You'd have been in movies, you sitting good, you no longer have to fight to eat. You good. That's going to take away from some of that ferocity that you used to have coming in. And I could tell you, a couple fights ago when I saw Tyron's physique, right? Because dude is normally a little stacked brother, man. He's a solid dude. But his last few fights, man, you know what I'm saying, look kind of soft. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to say he hasn't been working, but just looking at that from that perspective, I could tell that something was different. He was always a powerful dude, man. So now we've been seeing him get overpowered and beasted by these cats, man. I mean, Tunde, you want to chime in on that one?
Are you talking about like the heavyweight division?
Oh no, we just talking about in general, man. Like how, like you said, what's going on with the brothers, man. And I kind of spoke to just having the distractions and just other things in life going on. Like, what's your thoughts on?
Yeah. With Woodley, this in martial arts period, it's kind of like you're in a sport where people are training around the clock to kind of take you out, it's kind of unfortunate just kind of reading about some of the stuff the brother was going through, being played out in the media, the distractions that made it kind of not been in his favor, that played out.
Because you talked about Rashad.
He did his thing while he was doing it, but there's a lot of talent now, a lot of good matchups, and he hasn't fared well in the top 10 recently in the UFC. He's been doing his thing. I hope he stays in the UFC. I hope he has some way of staying in the UFC. He could fight maybe another contract out But it seems like maybe he may be looking elsewhere after the UFC, after his last fight, unfortunately.
Hey, I'm laughing. I'm watching this I'm watching this Travis McCullough get his ass whooped by some Jacob Volkman dude. The 6'5" dude you was talking about, Rico?
Hey, remember Jacob Volkman was at the UFC too.
Okay, then.
I've trained with Jacob at the academy.
Tunde, I was gonna ask you though, with Woodley, what do you respect about his game?
I think he was he always had that kind of adversary. He always stayed true to himself. He did his thing, and I think maybe you got to kind of face the fact, he's 39, 38 years old, and he's going up against guys who are peaking right now, and he's not in his prime anymore. Maybe a more favorable matchup would be somebody his age range or something. You know what I mean?
Do you think it's more like what Rico said about, he had a lot of circumstances going on? Because who's the boxer that we keep criticizing? Rico, you had a show about him.
You talking about
Broner.
Yeah, Broner. Yeah.
I'm not saying he's like him, but if you look at how Rico described him, he got so many outside things going on. Like, how can you be focused about one thing? So
another example.
It's either what Rico said about life circumstances, or like what I think you're alluding to, just the matchups.
Okay, I think it sounds conspiracy. It sounds kind of conspiracy, but he didn't have a good relationship with Dana White, even when he was champion. Dana White didn't promote him like a champion. I thought Dana White went out of his way to make him look bad as a champion, and it was really adversarial, and that played out with the fans.
Who you talking about, Tyron?
Yeah. This is before the Trump era. But to me, it was all kind of like the same era, 2014, 2015, right when Trump was making that noise.
That's true.
As
a fan, I never heard anything about him really. I had to. So you're right about that.
I totally forgot about that part. And you know what? Tyron was very vocal about that too. Like, hey, you're not really pushing me,
like or
supporting me like you did the other champions, man. And Tyron was a badass, bro. He came into,
but he pumped out Chris Weidman. See shit like that. That's why I don't like.
Well, he did, but see, and I think a lot of these guys actually ended up in movies. It wasn't just Tyron. I guess I should mention that too, man. Back in the days, Keith Jardine, Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell, these guys have also been in movies as well. Excuse me. Which, the movie money different. You're going to get that. Like, I'm not even mad at it. And that's what I mean. Think about it. Tyron wrestled at the University of Missouri too, bro. A lot of us, we're already athletes, and we can't even get mad even if you have a 5-year career in MMA. Because a lot of us, think about it, it's not like boxing where you got into it at 13 and then 20, you had a 20-year career like Floyd. You know what I'm saying? As a professional, like I said, I was 27. When I was in college, man, I came through the class with Brock Lesnar. Like, I was in wrestling tournaments coming out of Augsburg College with, I think I remember going to there was a match or a tournament in South Dakota where I first saw Brock Lesnar at when he was at the JUCO before transferring to the U of M.
Right.
Being at the D1 duels and seeing Rashad Evans at Michigan State, Daniel Cormier, Oklahoma State. I've seen these dudes. Cain Velasquez at Arizona State. I've seen these for Shelton Benjamin at the U of M before he later got into the WWE and shit. But so a lot of us, man, think about, we've had wear and tear on our bodies 15, 16, 17, 18 years before you even start a career in MMA. So also part of the discussion is the evolution of the sport. Because now I'm at the gym and I'm seeing young cats, and we even had a young boy, Blake, RIP to Blake. He was 17 years old when we first got Blake, man. And see, when you able to have them extra years, it provides a longer like longevity in the sport, man. It gives you a little bit more time to pick up these other skill sets and to be that much more effective in your career earlier on. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing too, as we're talking about like what's going on with these brothers, blah, 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 blah. You only get a small window. Now, Jon Jones is unique because he was the youngest heavyweight champion or something, or the youngest champion in the UFC at the age of, what was he, 22? 21?
20.
But he was
yeah.
He was 6'4" in the light heavyweight.
But see, Jon is unique. He's not like everybody else. I keep telling people this, man. This brother, man, first of all, he has a wrestling pedigree, Greco-Roman national champion, JUCO national champion in wrestling. Go back and look at what he did to Stephen. Look at what he did to Stephen Bonner. Now check this out. Also, he picked up the skill sets of the jiu-jitsu and the Muay Thai and the boxing super quick. And like you said, to your point, 86-inch wingspan, arm reach. And so he could you're not taking him down. You know, I mean, I think Gustafsson ended up being like one of the first people to do that. Like
6'4",
or was it DC? It was one of those guys, but that's not gonna happen too often. Okay. You might not even get in, man. He submitted Vitor Belfort, who was a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So now to do submission game off the chain, what are you gonna do? And this is before, because I know I'll be seeing a lot of folk hating on him in the comments. Oh, he did pads and blah blah blah. Like, dude, before any of that shit, Jon Jones was a problem.
But he had to do it at some
He's a phenom.
You can't gloss over that.
Bro, he didn't really, that's the thing. He didn't have to do shit. I don't know who he's around. Okay.
But he might have had to in the professional shit. And then speaking of Vitor, I mean, Vitor didn't get a chance. Vitor was obsolete against this guy. I mean, he was doing the Russian punches. He couldn't get this shit. And who was
the game had evolved.
Rashida, how he did him. I mean, all these guys was little dudes.
Oh my God, he did Lyoto, man. Why he let his body drop like that, bro?
Oh my God.
That fool choked him out standing up. Released him, and this fool fell like a fish, a dead fish or some shit, bro.
All he needs to do is fight somebody his size. He finna do that this next fight. And I'm not trying to be a hater against Jon Jones. I'm telling you, listen, I'm all with, like when people was hyping up Anderson Silva, I said, I see it. When everybody was hyping up Mighty Mouse, I see it. When everybody's hyping up Nunes, I see it. But when everybody was hyping up Ronda Rousey, I was like, I don't really know. And it proved to be true.
They was doing a lot. Shit, she cut. I don't like how she got. See, I respect folks. I don't care about if you have a few losses, bro. I don't like the whole thing. I'm gonna lose and then I'm gonna quit. I don't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to be at the end of your career. You're like, all right, man. Shit, I'm done.
Circumstances, nigga. She went on talk shows.
Hold on. Rhonda, first of all.
God damn.
Man, I'm gonna beat the shit out this damn dog, man.
Yo, Holly Holmes is decent and all, but
God dang, give me a second here, bro.
I got you. Yeah, Jon Jones can be beat. He fought Daniel Cormier, and I didn't even like how Daniel looked in that fight. He had a pot belly, and I mean, it ain't gonna work. There's a lot of these guys out here that are not as seasoned as we like them to believe. Like I was, Tunde, I was just telling Rico about, I was all gassed up about Overeem back in the day. And every time I see his 6'5" ass get out there with anybody, it's like, man, you can't take a punch, my G, at that size. I mean, I'd be disappointed in him because he looked like the prototype. He really does.
He do. I think he just had a long career and just caught up with him, you know what I mean? Because he's been fighting since he was 18.
Hey, Tunde, real quick. So Rico mentioned 5-year spans in MMA. Like, so on an average basis, how many fights is that over?
Kingston knocking shit over.
How many fights is that over 5 years?
Oh, badass.
For MMA.
Sit down.
If you winning. If you just winning.
It could be 10 to 15 fights.
Okay, so that's a good career. You ain't lying, Rick. Because I think where did Anderson go? He went like 17-0 or something like that.
No, bro. Anderson. Are you talking about in the?
No, Jon Jones is like he went like that. But what did Anderson's streak was like before he finally
Now in the UFC, he was like 17-0 or some shit, or his title defenses. But Anderson had lost before he even got to the UFC.
No, that was a DQ though.
No. I'm talking about he was in Pride. He lost against this Japanese fighter who caught him in a damn ankle lock, a smooth ass ankle lock, and he had lost. And this is before the UFC. Just people, the casual fan didn't know that, because he looked so invincible when he got to the UFC. But bro had already had a loss or two on his record.
Nigga,
was a well regarded Muay Thai striker though coming into the game.
I look at that shit as hilarious at times, even though I'm disappointed. Cause I can get inside the mind of a brother. I'm looking like the brother's like, man, I'm finna wax the floor with this motherfucker, man. But then these motherfucking Chinese dudes and Brazilian dudes be doing like little wormy shit to them, and I know they be shook when their ankles is locked up and they can't move. I'm like, damn, I need to slip that in.
Shit, real, bro. It's Tunde to. I mean, what's your main things? We gonna touch on even jiu-jitsu, period, bro. Talk to them about just your experience with jiu-jitsu and what your thoughts are on it for people who don't really know what it is, and you know what I'm saying.
I like the aspect of like wrestling jiu-jitsu is being able to get leverage and manipulating people with lockdowns, but using your body weight to kind of leverage and position yourself. Be able to move around somebody with some of those terms, using leverage or position. I like jiu-jitsu a lot because you're learning while you implement aspects of control and leverage and some type of strangulation lock for submission.
And even the way jiu-jitsu, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. Even like, when you kind of like setting up and the other person's on this side, and let's say they come in and how they be taking their elbows and blocking into your chest, and then they'll grab around your head. The control thing they do.
So you get the that's that's Muay Thai. That's Muay Thai. Yep. Don't get it. So with the Muay Thai, it's striking, but then they have that component of that's really one of the only grappling parts to Muay Thai. That's called a Muay Thai plum. Where you use to control the head. You can throw elbows from there. You can throw your knees from there. And then there's actually extra trips and throws that you can do. But with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it is the submissions, the joint manipulations, the chokes, the different chokes you could do. Now, traditional that's how the Brazilians changed it up. But traditional Jiu-Jitsu, I think, was founded in Japan, which kind of had more striking incorporated into it too. But the Brazilians, they wanted to make it so that, anybody of any size, the small person could pull it off, which is what we saw intro to Royce Gracie coming down to fight Ken Shamrock, because that's one of my first times seeing him. This little, Shamrock came out looking like a creative player and shit. He coming out cut up, physique crazy. And then he's at 225. Then you got little guy come down with his little gi on, with his black belt. And we looking at this dude like, this motherfucker, what he about to sell some insurance or some shit?
Stupid.
Man, all I know is Shamrock goes in, double leg, takes him down, right? Now, this is nobody knows what's going on, right? We don't know that shit.
No, we don't.
Man, I think it went on for a while. They tussling. Now this is kind of just to touch on about what Brazilian jiu-jitsu is, brother. Whole time is like chest on the ground. He might even let him take him down. Like, take me down. Just like you see all the time where they'll fall down and be waiting for him. That's what they want. They want you to come and get in their guard, right? It's like the fucking, it's like a web. And come get caught up in this motherfucking web, right? And it's deceptive, bro. And I like it too, in that it's like chess. Like boxing is chess on the feet. Jiu-jitsu is chess on the ground. You setting folks up. I might make you think I'm going for this Kimura on that arm whole time. I'm waiting for your head to pop up so I can snake around and guillotine choke you out. That's why I be telling the average person who everybody think they tough in the streets and shit. Oh man, I done did this. I'm like, man, y'all have no clue. Like you will mess around and get bodied out here without a gun. Like it's like for real, bro. In the sports, you either tap or you go to sleep or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But in real life, we're breaking your arm. You're getting choked out unconscious. Baby, hey, if you hold the choke, then we already know what happened from that. But it's a dangerous sport, bro. It's dynamic in that it's closer to what an average person would need. And I'm just speaking about MMA in general now. The jiu-jitsu is very deceptive. It's a defensive form, and a person may think they got you. I'm a slam D on the ground. Boom, they bammed you right whole time. Lojik done pull guard on them and about to set him up for this arm bar, and the person don't even know what's about to come. You understand me? And it's a lot of people who practice this shit that the average motherfucker thinking they about to be tough, man. Oh yeah, I'm raised on the block. I'm a gangster. I'm this, I'm that. They will get exposed, bro. Playing around with somebody who know how to handle themselves, man.
I done seen the guy on top have one of his legs locked into the bottom guy's guard, and the top guy just he don't succeed. It's weird, man. You know what I'm saying? So that leverage thing is real. Hey, by the way, what's that one blonde hair black name who was a wrestler back in the day that you just loved on the UFC game?
You said he was on the game?
Yep, he had blonde hair. He was buff as hell.
Oh, you talking about Kevin Randleman?
Yeah, shit like that.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Melvin Gillard at first. Little Melvin was a beast too, man. But he was a little guy who was very skilled and raw, but he got exposed too because of, I think, the lack of discipline. That he would be wild out there rushing folks and mess around and get caught. Now you done got clipped, and folks wondering how it happened.
Nate Robinson.
You still gotta have some control. But yeah, Randleman, my fault. Just to go back to Randleman, RIP, man. Kevin had passed away some years ago, man.
Yeah, but time I seen him fight respectively, he didn't seem dominant after the bell. He always seemed like he can get hit real hard. Maybe I was watching the later fights. But
probably because Kevin was out in Japan, man. Kevin, a lot of these guys, your Shoguns, your Rampages, your Wanderlei Silvas, who else? The Croatian. Who was the Croatian dude? Miracle. Yeah, I like his name. Miracle Crow Cop. You know what I'm saying? These dudes was over in Japan before the UFC got popping. But see, rumor has it though, everybody was over there juicing. Because we ain't seen Rampage do that type of slam since he was over there. You know, even when he came back over here and was fighting, we didn't see that freakish strength like that. Why he picked the motherfucker up over his head.
Why you got a juice in the sport? You know what I mean? Like, I know the sport's done changed, and that was my next question to you. Like, what's the style of choice these days? But I never understood the juicing shit. It's just like, man, just get out there legit. When did that come? When did that get implemented into the game?
I think the pressure. There's a lot of pressures. Because even Jon Jones popped twice for steroids.
And they don't want. They just don't want to have to go through the loss and then climb up the ladder again and all of that.
Something like that. Yeah. The pressure of winning.
I can understand that, especially why I keep asking myself a second question: why brothers want to even be involved in business with Dana White? I mean, you got to literally be a Jon Jones to cash in on some endorsements, right?
See, now you're getting off into that business part of it, and why a lot of us who might have fought UFC guys or guys who participated in UFC at some point, but however, haven't reached it. Like, you know, we got homies, Marcus Levasseur, Nick Lance, you know, Jacob Volkman, like I said, who's fought in the UFC, man. And but to be honest, you know, we know like the money. Like I heard one cat, you know, in total cash outs didn't even make 20 grand in 3 fights type thing. You understand? And it's like folks can't survive off that. This is one of the most dangerous sports in the world. And you're not paying guys. And so at one point, our sponsorships is where a lot of the money was coming from, man. And so once Dana White got away from you know, the fighters being able to have their own sponsors, you know, it became unattractive to a lot of us. Guys didn't have a problem going to Bellator or fighting on lower level cards, man. Like the Czech Congos went over to Bellator. Who else? Ryan Bader. I think he ended up over there. Ben Henderson. Yeah, like
Tito.
Yeah, Tito, like a gang of guys. And see, I
like fight with Tito and somebody else. I can't remember.
I like you right. I think actually was it Rampage?
No. It was somebody he had fought.
He had fought before.
Yeah, Liddell.
Yeah, and see, that's what I'm saying, bro. I liked when we had multiple organizations. I like that. And you know, Dana White's clearly trying to monopolize shit.
That's like going on Black TV for a free interview and you big time. If you really think about it. You letting this guy get all the cash cow chicken. And you ain't getting nothing but like publicity and maybe some views or something.
And you know what, they sold it, I think. They didn't the Fertitta brothers sell when they sold the UFC. I heard Dana got like 300-400 million or some shit.
Yeah, they sold it again.
Damn, they sold it again.
Yeah, I sent you guys a link about it. The company
okay, that's it. Okay. Boy, but real quick, are they having financial issues?
No, they want to Endeavor, the company that owns UFC, they own a couple other companies too. But because 2020 was a bad year, the UFC of all the portfolio businesses made the most money. So they said they did whatever math and say if they own the UFC all 100%, they'll make 100% of their profit right away, just like that.
What?
So they bought all the other people out, like the Mark Wahlbergs, all those celebrities that were joint partners in this thing.
Oh, I didn't even know Mark had. Okay.
Okay, but see, it's saying right here too on this article. It's saying, Endeavor finalizes deal to buy out the UFC outright. They sold 49.9% of the ownership for about $4.3 billion. So Dana White he's still the majority owner.
He's not majority. He got a bid. It's a different majority owner now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But he got a bid though. He getting break off pretty nicely though.
Wow. See, I'm checking it out. Excuse me.
So what's Dana's role anymore in this whole thing? Because
I think he's more or less he's the brand. He's the face of the brand. Kind of like the UFC to me is like the WWE. They got all these brands or these smaller brands, but no one's bigger. No Hulk Hogan's bigger than WWE.
Right.
It's always UFC first, and that's how Dana White does it. It's like, okay, we got Jon Jones, we got Francis Ngannou, we got DC, we got Chuck Liddell, we got Tito Ortiz, all these legacy fighters, but they fight for the UFC only. Nothing's bigger than the UFC. So
he done monopolized it.
Yeah, monopolized it. Yeah.
Definitely.
They all contract. They're not full-time employees. All the athletes are contract. They're all contract employees. They're not full-time employees.
You see what I'm saying?
On a contract basis.
Capitalism is like we talk about, D.
They did
your boy.
Like Dana did that to Anderson. I remember he said something to the effect of, towards the end of his run, he said he had a couple more fights with him. And I'm like, Anderson Silva was the man at that moment. But he'll handicap you, man, to make him more paper.
Man, these fools, the money that Anderson should have been making way more money. Even at the height, I think he was getting, a couple 100,000. And then like we were talking about before, Tunde, man, because I think he had Nike. Once Nike came in and, I saw the Nike on his jumpsuit and, I'm like, okay, so he's making that big money. Because think about it. This is how cheap these guys were, man. You know, back in, like I said, the early like 2010s or whatnot. You know, your first fight in the UFC might be 6,000 to show up, 6,000 to win, 7-7, 10-10, some shit like that, right? You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. The UFC is the NFL of the MMA, but look at what they're paying you.
And boxing's
now, boxers, as at that point, shit,
they're the NBA.
That's what I'm saying. Shit, boxing, you might be, goddamn it, if you're a prospect coming up, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a hell of a lot than $7,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but this is how he was pimping the game. And then once he brought in where Reebok is the whole sponsor of everybody. Whereas I would have came in and made, let's say 10-10, but goddamn it, I got Jiffy Lube patch on my shorts. They're paying me 20 grand. I got Jimmy John's paying me 30 grand. Then I got, goddamn it, like I said, Nike, they might throw me 70, 80,000, right? So now the UFC, you looking kind of shitty because your fighter is making 200 grand in the sponsorships, but you only paid him 16,000 out of your purse. And then if you get a knockout bonus, then he get $50,000 on top of that. So it's just, man, once I saw that shit, that was, I wasn't like, oh yeah, I gotta go fight in UFC. I would rather go to a Bellator and be able to get my money, man, like I'm supposed to.
Well, the goddamn job opportunities must be so slim that brothers got to get into this MMA. I love it. I love watching it. I just don't like the fact that here I am thinking these guys are studs and they gonna get paid nothing. Yo, bro.
That's that bullshit.
That's crazy. Like Tunde, what fighting style do you do, brother?
Karate, and kickboxing.
Okay, so quick question. So is there any reservation like that's your style of if you had to choose some form of fight, you know what I mean? And what league, you know, boxing is going to be kickboxing, is going to be MMA. You for sure, that's your style. Correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And is it because you're a natural at it, or is it because you have severe interest in it to the point where you just wanted to be like Mike Tyson and just learn every piece that you could learn?
You know what? Recently, it's kind of changed to wrestling. But before my injury, it was all stand-up, kickboxing, karate. But I do have an injury that prevents me from doing that extensively like I used to.
I remember that.
I'm more inclined to do wrestling jiu-jitsu now. But back 7-8 years ago, prior to my injury, it was kicking all day. That's what I loved doing, was doing kicks.
Mm-hmm. I forgot what it was. You was grappling and then you like dislocate your arm or something like that. Or you broke
something
your
like
arm.
that. Was wrestling with Brett and
Brett's big ass.
Yeah, dislocated my elbow.
Wow.
But it ain't even that. It's even with Brett, man. Brett was not a traditional grappler. He was doing some tough man shit. I remember before he had gotten into MMA and just a brawler, big boy. You know what I'm saying? Power. And damn it, you know, if you're not an athletic heavyweight, if you a sitting duck, you get knocked out. Period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm only 5'7". I can't really criticize a 6'5" professional fighter, but he had a fat man's body.
He did, but the and the thing is, Brett was raw. He was still on, even though, and this is what I mean by going back to what you were talking about, being able to hone your skills all together. Because here's the thing. It's called mixed martial arts for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You need to, there is no, you know, what's the style? You can favor one style over the other, but you better be proficient all the way around. Like you gotta be, bro. Like for example, the last fight with Ngannu, right? The key piece that he was able to do once he stuffed Stipe's shots, you couldn't take him down and no shit like that. Oh, fight was over. Because it forced him to have to bang with dude. And with dude's kind of power, that plays into his favor. So you see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you have to be if you able to nullify that weakness right there, oh, it's over, bro.
Oh, so you
It's
think
over.
Stipe would have, he was doing multiple shoots at him. If he would have got him down, he would have did damage.
Well, when I look at the previews, like the highlights and stuff from the other fights and stuff, that's where I think he won the fights, huh, today? When Stipe was able to take him down and to control the guy. Yeah.
I'm having a tough time hearing.
Oh, no. Excuse me. I'm talking about when they fought before, Stipe and Ngannu. Like, well, didn't Stipe take him down? That's how he beat him, right? He was able to control him.
Warm down through the championship rounds. Francis gassed him out.
See what I'm saying?
Hey, but Tunde, do you think, like, if, let's say, one of Stipe's shoots would have worked on him, do you think he would have even did damage to him on the ground? I mean, look at this brother, man.
I think if Francis didn't have a good way to transition from being taken down, be on his back, to stand back up, it would have been a long day for Francis because he would have been tired carrying Stipe's weight on him. And even breathing with that weight stuff. Man.
And that's what Jon Jones gonna struggle. He better stand up with this dude. I'm telling you, he's not submitting him. He look like he don't look like Rampage to me. He don't look like nothing we really seen before. He looked like, because I remember seeing Rampage go against Jon Jones, and I was like, damn, he is really killing Rampage. But I'm like, I can't see that with this guy.
No, brother, no, I'm gonna tell you again. Jon Jones is different.
So you
he's different. I like Ngannou, I really do.
You think
Jon Jones is probably as complete a fighter that you're gonna find.
As a heavyweight, though?
As whatever weight. Think about it. He was a light heavyweight. So it ain't like this brother was 70 or 85 pounder about to move up. Jon, you got to think about it. Even with Anderson Silva fighting at middleweight, Anderson walked around at 220. You understand? We got to understand Jon Jones probably walked around already at like, said 230, 220. So now he's at 250. Mm-hmm. And, you know what I'm saying? I've seen just footage of him now, how he's moving, some of the things he's doing as a heavyweight, bro. He's about to be a problem. He's about to be a problem.
I put 20 on it. Hey, Tunde, you said you have to bounce in a minute.
Yeah, I got to bounce. I think if Jon Jones and Francis fight, man, I think Francis will take it.
Thank you.
I mean, don't get me right. I can see it happening, but he's different. He is. Think about it, bro.
Light heavyweight.
Ngannou. How many submissions does Ngannou have? We've only seen the power. We should have knocked him folk out.
His ass out. He's light heavyweight. He dominates that division. Heavyweight, it's only gonna be a certain few fighters he can get with, I think.
Hey, real quick. So, man, I know the homie Tunde got a head out, man. Thanks again for tapping in, brother, to the Who You Got segment, man. We definitely gonna have you on again.
How many times a week do you do these podcasts?
Man, so with this one here, man, this will be our debut with the Who You Got piece. Okay, so I'm trying to do everything within probably like once a week. You know what I'm saying? We got between the Grind Af podcast and this piece here, both like once a week, bro. So, we definitely gonna have you back on there, my G, man. And thanks again for contributing.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem.
Hey,
man.
I enjoyed you today, bro. Like, it's good to meet you, man. I like
to meet you too, man. It was cool. It was positive energy, man. We was just talking about sports. It was sharing ideas, and it was all positive, man.
Yeah,
for sure.
Be part of this again, man. Salute to you guys, man.
Hey, I got you, my G. You already know we're gonna have you. You gonna be a part of the family too, man. The Grind Gang family, man. So you've been blessed in. Yeah, I mean, and so we definitely gonna turn this into a community, bro, and keep building from here, my G.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. All right, man. Shit, man. You all enjoy your day, man.
Already.
What?
Yeah, man.
It's a good build.
And the thing is, the time goes so fast, man. We already at it like an hour and 37 minutes, bro. We gonna go for a little over probably. Would you say about 20 more minutes?
But you want to go 20? I didn't know if you want to end it at a minute 30, but I mean hour 30.
No, I mean it's we could talk a little bit,
Oh,
just to kind of close it out or whatnot.
yeah. Well,
You
listen,
know,
if you ever do a part 2 of it, I do want to touch on some other stuff because one of my one of my questions is, like I said, I wanted to really talk about like not necessarily all the way just the business part with Dana White. And I understand UFC is just another avenue for brothers to, make some paper on, but it don't feel right. And then I look at brothers and we know how dynamic the African is. Now I don't like to do it like this. Yes, I do. I'm bullshitting. Yes, I do.
look, man, we keeping it all the way 1,000 wow around here.
My thing is, man, sometimes I don't understand how certain brothers who are like chiseled they just get in the ring like it's a street fight and they just rely on, man, I'm about to whoop this dude's ass. And then it's like they get in there and they just get all puzzle pieced up, chest moved up. And I'm like, this shit is crazy.
Bro, but think about it. Think about it. It really ain't that. It ain't that. It ain't that. I don't want to say difficult, but like I know what you mean. It's all optics, bro. It's all optics because you looking at you caught up on the muscles, man. We watched who was dude named Big Country. Look at what we watched Big Country be able to do. Now, mind you, I followed Big Country when he was back with the IFL. He was a champion. With the beer belly and all, but he's also a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I think he won when him and Kimbo was on the UFC, the house or whatever. He won it then, you know what I'm saying? And then he won several fights when he got to the UFC. And so that should tell you right there, bro, don't get caught up on the optics of things, man, because a person could be a bodybuilder is swole. But what is his dexterity like? What is his agility like? Can he move?
What are we getting?
I'm gonna tell you.
What are we getting swole for then? That's why I always look at.
But you got to think though. Everybody, the MMA is so new, bro, that they might not have thought they was gonna be getting into MMA until hey, I want to take a stab at it. Or everybody's body just responds different to certain workout and training regimens. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm smaller than you, right? Now I ain't got no experience. But
excuse me.
I did. If I tried to submit you with an arm bar or something, I could hold that arm bar with you because you're literally stronger. You could probably push your way out of that shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Man, and see, this is where we talk about just how dynamic jiu-jitsu is, brother. With an arm bar, think about it. When I pull an arm bar on somebody, I position my body in a way so that the arm is extended. The pressure is on this joint. But guess what? It's my whole body, the strength of my whole body versus this joint. So you could be 180 pounds and I'm 275. But if you get this arm good enough, it's over. It's over. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I mean by when these guys introduced jiu-jitsu, once it got to the Brazilians, they wanted to make it so that the little guy, like it was the great equalizer. That's what I said. Like we saw with Hoist Gracie versus Shamrock or whoever else, because he went against, I think, Dan Severn, some of the big dogs. But it was all about showing people our revolutionized version of this jiu-jitsu thing. We're going to show you that it works against any and everybody y'all put us up against, no matter what the size or strength is. That's what's so dope, bro.
It seemed like when Tiger Woods start playing golf, niggas start saying, well, shit, let me try some of this shit that's unfamiliar to us. And some of these niggas just ain't built for the MMA. But I will say, nigga, that picture behind you, you way bigger than that now.
Man, you already see that, boy.
I want to see your old ass get out there and fight.
And I had the locks.
I can see it. I can see your ass getting with Tyson.
Hey, I won that. I won when I won my belt, bro. It was at 185 pounds. So
that's crazy.
And I was I was what 14 years younger.
And that's like
that's crazy how the time go, man. But
middleweight or light heavy?
That was at middle. That was at 185 pounds, man. Even though when I started, and this is what people who don't know that understand, I was a heavyweight coming into the game. So, and of course, I haven't been as active here in recent years, but man, shit, bro, I was 230, 230, and when I cut down, when I first started MMA, had a couple fights at heavyweight, had a couple fights at light heavy, which I was decent at light heavy. At 205, I look pretty good. I look damn good at 205, but I'm a shorter guy regardless. So my tactic is always going to have to be on the inside, no matter what it is. And I just love it, man. Even on down to the training, I love it. I think as of recent, though, I've really gravitated to the boxing thing. I've really been diving into that, like we talked before, man, and just becoming intrigued with the shoulder roll, the peekaboo, man. Looking at the different styles. I've always been an enthusiast, but now once I get locked in on something, I become obsessed with it, and I study the shit. And when I do go to a gym, I implement it on the pads, on the bag, or when I go in there and spar with these young boys. I like to surprise these young cats, man, because they be thinking it's sweet, and they be thinking it's sweet and get set up like
on World Star, nigga.
Man, I swear, bro. I swear.
Like, woo.
Man, look. And it's so once you a veteran, because when you a veteran in this shit, you know all the little tricks. You know what I'm saying? You know how to, even on down to how to preserve your energy in the fight. You know all of that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Even when I think about, I think I sent you the video with Andre Berto on the boxing shit, when he was talking about how Floyd was just so aware of everything, like where he was in the ring, where he could get up against the rope, wrap you up. And he said all he heard was Floyd. He was getting his breath. Boom, let him go. Run, dip. He said, next thing you know, round over, he look up, he down 5 rounds to 0. You see what I'm saying? I like that veteran shit because you can be more crafty. It ain't about wow. Now you about to act a fool, exert all your energy, probably gonna run into some shit, get yourself knocked out, but you just able to be more cerebral and tactical the more experience that you got in the shit.
Yo, a couple more things. I don't know how you want to do this, but I definitely want to get 2 answers from you before we leave. First of all, it does seem like boxing, for example, too many fighters be standing in front of the other fighter. I know more successful types like Floyd and even Mike Tyson, they get on the side of your shoulder. But the second thing, since I got 20 on it now with you, you got to explain to me why you feel like Jon Jones is finna do something to this guy.
Man, I'm talking about
specifically.
I'm talking about just no. I like Ngannu, bro. I just want to see when it comes to these guys. I want to see a good fight. But people got to understand.
What's your doubt with Ngannu? You think what's your doubt? What's your doubt?
Don't think that because I see what y'all looking at optics. Y'all looking at because this fool look like a freak of nature, what he finna do. But Kevin Randleman was a freak of nature too. But once he got in there, trying to carry around all that muscle, got his ass wore out. He got pounded out, got submitted, all that shit.
It seemed like he could take a punch too and get out of a submission. The
chin is different, bro. The chin is you ain't got a lot of muscle around that chin. You could do all you want to. Like I was watching the fight with Usman yesterday against this Brazilian dude who was thrashing everybody. And Usman switched up on him and went southpaw. Now his strength hand is up front. So that means that jab is gonna feel a lot more harder. So once he was kept switching back and forth on Buddy Ab. Boop, boop. Threw that jab after this jab was freezing him in his tracks. Knocked him down a couple of times with a jab. You see what I'm saying? Tactics like that. Where dude he was catching Usman before. Boom, rocked him a couple times. Usman is the welterweight champion right now. And they thought Brazilian dude was gonna really give him the business. But he showed you that he's a true champion. He got rocked, boom, came back, switched up strategies, found out that jab was being effective, and it became a game changer. He ended up finishing that boy, man. So
either you saying Jon Jones gonna submit him, he gonna keep him at distance, and dude's not gonna be able to get in with those punches, or you're saying that Jon Jones is gonna be too crafty and too creative? Which one of those?
Man, I'm saying it all. I'm saying he's different. That's what people gotta understand, man. Like Floyd is different. Right. Jon Jones is different. He's a problem, bro.
Right.
He is a serious, because think about it. Jon can beat you in all those ways.
Right.
He could KO you. He could submit you. He could wrestle you and control the fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He can outstrike you. He has his wrestling pedigree. He has damn good takedown defense.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I see it, Ngannou's only real weapon is his power. He gonna have to catch. If he catch Jon, he already done proved that he could put anybody to sleep. But if he catch you,
but Jon's takedowns might be ineffective, correct?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because Jon don't have to shoot on you to take you down. A lot of that shit, the grappling shit really does wear you down. It drains energy. But he's a Greco-Roman national champion, so he go upper body with you. He knows a whole bunch of throws just from the clinch area, inside trips, outside trips. That's not going to take a whole bunch of energy out of you. Get down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, I think Jon has too much overall, man. He got too much in his arsenal that the homie gonna have to deal with.
Right.
Like them little side kicks to your kneecap, to your shin and shit, bro. Who does that?
Yeah.
At heavyweight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I gotta watch more Jon at heavyweight. I think,
bro, go watch him just his workout shit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Now the reach is comparable. You know, they both reach is crazy. It's about who's gonna be able to implement that mug and establish it the best, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
like this knucklehead right here to my left, real quick. I mean, I'm on a show right now, baby.
Shit.
But anyway, though, man, no, this was great, though, man. I want to do more of this shit.
Oh, no doubt, bro. And
it's funny. I'm watching highlights and shit the whole time.
Man, this is we definitely gonna get it in, bro. And because Kingston over here, you know, acting like he gotta go out. So, you know, we could definitely wrap it up. But like I said, man, next week we'll be right back with it, homie. The guy El Reezy, man.
Yeah.
Deez Nutz, man. We still got the Deez Nutz, the deep discussion with Deez Nutz coming soon. That's my homie's podcast, man. And like I said, man, thanks for having you on again, G. You already know you part of the family, man.
Yes, sir.
And you know, until next time, man, we out. Make sure you go follow us, Boss Certified Entertainment, on YouTube. Follow Official King Vice Verse on Instagram. Boss Certified Entertainment on Facebook as well, man. And you know, hey, we'll holler at you, homie.
Punch the face. Wow.
All right, boy. Yada.